Persona 5 Tactica is a strategy game that aims to introduce a new genre to the JRPG fans of the mainline games. The Phantom Thieves are brought into a new realm where its residents live under tyranny. They are saved by a new character named Irina, who teams up with them to take down the Legionnaires. Playing the demo of the game, the loop may seem a little basic at first. P5T eases you into all of its mechanics very slowly. A few special enemy types aren't even introduced until halfway through the game. But before we dive in, please leave the video a like and subscribe. The algorithm likes it when those numbers go up and it helps the channel grow. Thank you. It starts off by showing your party of 3 in this grid-based arena. You have 3 main methods of attack, being ranged, melee, and your personas, which are elemental skills that cost SP and give you various bonuses when used. The twist here is that after attacking an enemy that is in a vulnerable state, marked by the Get 'em text, your movement range is refreshed and you can attack one more time. Any enemy that is near a piece of cover will have the word resist over them. This means that they will take decreased damage and are not eligible for the one more. If you melee the enemy, regardless of where they land, that resist status is gone, meaning you are now able to get a one more with a different character. The interesting about this is that one more mechanic stacks. If you play your cards right, you can attack much more than just twice in one turn. One more can only be done once per enemy, so you always need a new target to keep it going. This brings in another feature called the follow-up. If you melee an enemy down to a lower position and you have a teammate down there, they will do some damage to them for free while also giving you a one more. It's a good thing to split up your team for times like this. It also allows you to cover more ground and be in positions to manipulate the environment, which I'll talk more about later. You can choose any 3 members of the Thieves to roll with. Joker is you, and pretty middle of the road in terms of his range and damage. Every character has a skill tree, but they all share very similar upgrades in terms of movement and utility. Each member of the team also has different pros and cons. Like I said, Joker is middle of the road, but Mona has increased range in terms of attack and moving around. Panther and Arena use submachine guns, which cover wider ranges and can hit multiple enemies with moderate movement. Skull also has moderate movement, but his shotgun damage is insane close range. Same with Noir, who has a grenade launcher. Her damage is crazy with more range than Ryuji, while also having the shortest movement in the game. It's also worth mentioning right now that each character has unique elemental personas that their skill tree center around. They can change things up quite a bit. Forget makes the enemy not attack for their next turn. Hypnosis will bring them towards you. Despair steals enemy movement range for yourself, just to name a few. The enemy types can get quite unique. They have basic grunts and healers, but there's also like a big tank guy that can't be one moored until after being hit once. The twist is that after hitting him, he'll leap towards you, and he leaps pretty far. The distance they will jump will be shown on the ground, or listen to Oracle to know if you'll be safe.
That's perfect! Oh, we'll be safe there!
There's another special enemy a little later on that's like a ninja. Their gimmick is that once you attack them, they will switch spots with you. I found that it's best to attack them from a vulnerable spot, so that way when they switch, they'll be out in the open and easier to kill. Those are the ones that I'll spoil. There are a few more that'll all force you to play in new and fun ways. Outside of combat, in the hideout, you can do a couple different things that will allow you to improve your combat prowess and fine-tune your playstyle. There are 2 menu options that you can choose from here, being prep and hideout. The hideout menu can only be viewed in the hideout. Self-explanatory, I guess. This includes replaying old levels, visiting the Velvet Room to fuse personas, find your quests, view the records, meaning cutscenes, photos, and the journal, and buying new weapons for the crew. The prep menu can also be accessed literally right before starting the level. This includes changing who's active in your party, swapping equipped weapons and personas, accessing the skill trees, viewing completed side quests for some reason, and regular system stuff like saving and loading. I do quickly want to talk about the presentation, meaning the visuals and the music. I think the music is great. There are some really awesome tracks, especially later on in the game, that were so good they were distracting me from planning my next move. The art style is a little divisive, and rightfully so. It's used throughout the entire game without fault, even during the stop motion and pre-rendered cutscenes. I point this out because I'm also slowly making my way through Star Ocean, the second story R, and the character's style changes depending on where you are in the game. We've seen other games do this too. I think it looks fine for the gameplay parts. It being more exaggerated lets you read the arena quickly from unique shapes and colors representing each character. But for the cutscenes, both kinds, I don't know. The proportions look weird, with scrawny arms but giant hands and massive fingers. It's very distracting at times, and the game literally triples down on this style, so it's take it or leave it. Aside from that, there is quite a lot of content in the game, including the quests. These are given to you piecemeal as you make your way through the campaign. There are 15 of them in total, and I'm not sure why the game even calls these quests. They seem much more like challenges, needing to maximize every mechanic and niche skill in the tree to even attempt to complete. Only a handful of them feel like a fun side quest. Even the rest are just sweaty. You'll need to use the one more mechanic multiple times to get your players in positions to help your other party members. There's a lot of times where you're not even trying to kill the enemy, but keep them alive long enough so you can get into position, or just run past them to the objective. These are like brain teasers and are there for those who want a more puzzle-like aspect to the combat in the game. This leads into the environment stuff. There are ways the game throws variables at you to change things up, some of which start off basic and then get more advanced as you get deeper in the game. There are buttons that will open doors and may close another set while you stand on it. This changes later on to platforms that raise, either all of them or just the ones of the same color. There are also explosive barrels that will send anyone flying that's nearby, not just over walls but even off ledges to lower areas of the map, and loudspeakers that will cover large areas, giving you a rule that you must follow or take damage as a consequence. Get out of range, listen to the rule, or just destroy the speaker to avoid getting hurt. When I first played the demo of the game, I was expecting it to be a mile wide and an inch deep, and I was somewhat wrong. Are there systems as deep as Tactics Ogre? No. Is this more charming and addictive than Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle? Also, no. But they did something new here in their own way. I found it really fun, even though some levels have multiple stages you must complete in a row, but that's another can of worms. If you're a fan of tactics games or anything I showed looks interesting, then give it a shot. I'm wondering how well the game sold and if Atlas will ever pursue a Persona 6 Tactica in the future. Who knows? Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave the video a like and subscribe, both of which are free to do and help me out a lot. Thanks. I'm on Twitter or X at SilverJS and Instagram at JSSilver. 3s for the E's. I'll see you all in the next one. Stay safe.